Broccoli. 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 You do not like broccoli.
Broccoli man.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Art School Rejects, and tonight's show, we're going to be talking about Marvel Civil War, the movie, not the comic book. And we got everyone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's introduce people. We have Luis.
Hey, what's up?
We have Jake.
Hello.
And we have Carlos.
Hey.
And we have myself, which is Shane. So, this movie is the third installment of Captain America's outing in the movies. Well, in the recent times, I should say. It's probably like his fourth film or something like that.
Yeah, he had one from the 90s.
No, but that doesn't count.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU. This is third.
Right.
So,
Did everybody see it?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I will hope so.
Yeah. I think everybody in America wants to go see it.
It's probably mandatory.
I think it already, in its second weekend, it already hit $900 million, so it's going to hit $1 billion pretty soon.
Maybe.
That's good. It was good.
No, maybe. It will.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. There's no guarantees in life.
I think that movie's a guarantee.
So anyway, everyone's seen it, and what do you guys think? Like straight off the bat, without getting into it too deep.
Well, I told you last time we talked off the pod, and my big thing was, I don't know if you remember, Shane, from a few days ago when I was talking about it, but I mean, like the one thing that I kept on going back to in my head, like after kind of watching it and then going over the scenes afterwards, who cleans up the airport?
The attendants, man.
After that whole big thing, like,
who cares?
Man, they made a big mess.
You know who cleans it? The government, because they're officially part of the government. Okay?
Well, that's the whole point of the movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
That they're like going all over the place, destroying shit and not giving a goddamn shit. And the government's like, "Hey guys, don't do that."
Yeah. So they got like workers that just kind of go and sweepers.
Yeah.
You know.
So they have a cleanup
whoever
crew?
disaster relief.
Oh, FEMA.
Wasn't it in Germany though?
Yeah.
Was it?
Oh, that was in Germany, right?
Yeah, it was in Germany. It wasn't in like Delray Beach.
Yeah, but it's still it's like a different type of UN pretty much. So they have like a shit set up for it.
Are they union?
There's no union, dude. Are you kidding me? Government is not with the unions, dude.
I don't think they clean that up.
What's the overtime like? Is it like time and a half or?
Oh, dude, they just give you like a solid like 6 hours on top.
Okay.
Whatever it is better than what you probably be paid over here in America.
What is it, like seven and change?
I think that's what standard is.
Yeah,
but
it's like $8 something, depending on where you live, though. Depending on the cost of living. Down here, it's probably around like 8 and change, 850-ish, probably.
Man.
So wait, so pretty much, so since it is in Germany, and that's part of the European Union, and isn't like their minimum wage like above 15 whatever?
I mean, they don't even have dollars. They got the
euro.
No, I know. That's what I said. Like whatever, like euro.
Galactic credits.
Here's the thing: is that the problem is that the Justice League, the Avengers are the ones that cause the issue. So the government associated with the Avengers are the ones that have to clean it up. So they're getting paid whatever that organization pays them, not necessarily whoever they hire.
Federal employees.
But what government is associated with the Avengers? I mean,
the
U.S. maybe.
I'm saying it's like
it's the UN.
It's like a UN.
They're part of the UN.
No, they're not. They want to. The whole point of the movie is that they wanted them to be part of the UN.
That's what I'm saying. So the ones that already are.
No, the ones who signed.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Because that happened
so like
after.
Tony Stark or Tony Stank, as his name is now.
So dumb.
I'm looking for a Tony Stank. That's you now. I'm gonna call you that from now on, dude. That's how the joke went. It was just like that and just as funny. The end.
Hey, he was like co-creator of him, right? So I think he can do whatever he wants.
Anyone that just has man at the end of their name is who he created.
No, I'm saying like I think he created Iron Man.
Yeah.
I mean that was like the worst cameo ever. It's like the most like fucking lazy ass cameo. Oh, he's just a delivery man.
Who would have been a better cameo for Stanley in the movie? Like of all the side characters.
The guy who had to clean up the shit at the airport.
But the airport was evacuated.
He's like mumbling to himself, motherfucking $15 an hour.
He's a fucking mess. They need to raise the minimum wage. Excelsior. All
right, well, that was my big question.
Really?
Okay, so
that was it?
That was it.
That's all he wanted to know, man. That was his star question.
The movie's great. Go watch it.
It's fine.
So you saw it twice, Luis. So that means it's definitely great. It's good to go.
I mean, something that I really liked, that I'm like, and this is a complaint that a lot of people had, and these are probably the people that loved Superman versus Batman or Batman versus Superman, whatever.
Wait,
the last one was correct.
Those people exist?
Yeah, they do exist, man.
Some of them are here with us.
Yeah.
Remember, I had like a podcast defending those people.
No,
I feel like those people fall into the same like, where's Obama's birth certificate?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Damn.
No, but it's like a lot of people are like, oh, it wasn't like this grandiose super fight, like over the top explosions and like buildings coming down. Like that's what people wanted. People wanted something bigger than the last one, and that's
Michael Bay.
Nobody wanted that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm telling you. That's the same people fall into that same category.
Well, the thing is that nobody wanted that because that shit is tired. Like we've seen that like so many times already.
That's why I'm liking so much about Marvel is that they decided to fuck that. Like we're gonna make a story that's more 100% character oriented.
The thing about DC is that at the very end of the movie, if this was a DC movie, then there would have been. You could have bet your fucking life there would have been 5 motherfucking super soldiers in that chamber, and they would have been a big ass battle at the end.
Yeah, that's true.
And that would have been the end of the movie. And all the Avengers would have kind of teamed up at the end and resolved their issues as a group, teamed up and defeated the 5 super soldiers, and that would have been the movie.
You know what? I don't know about that. I think that they would have done something similar where the super soldiers would come out, right? And then the guy who wants that report from 1991 would have came out and Z-blows, and he was like, hey, I drank some of this serum too. And then he kills all the super soldiers so easy, and then they have a big old fight where he turns into the Hulk.
Yeah, Abomination.
Yeah. Great. He turns into Grey Hulk.
Yeah, they haven't done him. Or did they?
It's not. But anyway, so since you guys were talking about this whole DC, what am I saying? Not Marvel versus Capcom. That's a good game. But Batman versus Superman, and
we don't have to go back
comparison. No. Reason why I'm talking about it, because you guys are doing it. If you kind of look at the movie,
we already talked too much about Batman.
They're kind of fairly similar.
No.
If you kind of look at the track of the movie.
No, one has like really good acting, really good dialogue, and really good action.
And the other one has the Avengers. Oh!
Right, but obviously what I'm trying to say is if you kind of look, the plots are very similar.
Yes.
Hear me out. Because you have 2 superpower people fighting each other, right? Obviously, the reasons are different. You have one bad guy who orchestrates the whole thing to bring these 2 superheroes to hate each other. One thing that's kind of funny is that there is like a parental thing about it as well.
But that's with most superheroes, there's usually like a dead parent or something that kind of sets them off. With practically almost like if you look into every superhero's history, there's something to do with their parents
or an uncle,
right?
Because that's an easy emotional connection that everybody can relate to. In this movie, there was so much like build up. There was so much character building.
Right.
You understood everybody's like connection and issues and like their real torments with everything. The Batman vs Superman did not do that. I mean, the opening scene, they just showed you everything. Obviously, everybody knows.
Here's the biggest problem: the difference between the Batman, Superman, and Civil War, Captain America, whatever. Yeah. This movie, Captain America: Civil War, that shit had all the characters that were in it had their movies already. The Batman one, they didn't have the movies already of their background characters. That's the only difference. Like, if we didn't have to have all the fucking bullshit where it's like, here, let me kind of explain these other characters to everybody and waste all this fucking time with this bullshit, because that was probably, to me, that was the worst part of the Batman movie. Everything else was fine. If they didn't have that, if they had the background already, it'd be the exact same shit. It would be the same shit. It really would.
Well, no, yeah. If it would have had the same writers and the same background, yeah, of course. But
same actors.
I didn't say that at all.
No.
That's my point.
What you're saying is like but the thing is, it was Snyder, so it was not going to be as good.
The DC version of Civil War, at the end, the big reveal would have been that Zemo was just being controlled by Thanos the whole time.
By Dr.
No, but on that topic, actually, because a big issue with the DCU is the fact that all the movies are controlled kind of by different people, and there's no real continuity between everything in terms of like vision.
There's no real management,
which is a good thing and a bad thing, because I guess Marvel has had issues with certain directors about that, because they kind of like have a little bit more control than the director would like them to have. But it keeps everything kind of on the right track. But now DC is restructuring to do that. Like they put some dude with some board member, and then they put Geoff Johns. Geoff, how do you say his name?
Geoff Johns.
Geoff Johns. Yeah. So they put him in charge, and which I don't know how that's gonna affect all the fucking Snyder movies, or like how much oversight he's gonna have. I hope he has a lot more, but it means that DC is obviously
they've learned.
They're seeing
lesson.
Yeah, they're seeing that they can't just keep doing what the fuck they were doing
right before, because it's obviously it's madness to continue in that way, because if you're trying to copy what Marvel has done and you're not doing a good job of copying, you're just gonna keep biting the dust and just keep falling back on Batman, which is going to be directed by Batman, starring Batman, produced by Batman.
It's going to be great.
That, it's going to be the most Batman movie ever. But
we're talking about Civil War.
No, we're getting back to it. Yeah. So in Civil War, it was a good movie. Like, one thing that I did say to Los and Luis when we had our last chat is that for me, like, being a trilogy. A trilogy.
A trilogy
is like a thriller, but it's not. Mad Trill. It's purple everywhere, yo. Anyway, being that it is that, I find that it was, for me, the first one that I really grasped that from the beginning is progressed. Like, the second one was better, and then the third one was even better than the second one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think we'll probably see him in his own solo movie for another good couple of years.
No, they gotta do everybody else.
It just came out, Shane.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I'm saying
regardless, the soonest it could be would be another couple of years.
Yeah, another couple of years.
Well, Chris
Evans
years. Has been saying for a while that he wants to not be Captain America anymore.
That's fine. They could just pass the mantle to Sam.
Yeah,
I think that's what they're gonna do. I think he's gonna fucking go be like what they were trying to do with Iron Man, where he just kind of like hangs out every once in a while, and he's like, I'm in the background doing shit here and there, but for the most part, there's a new Captain America, like Bucky or a Hawkman,
Sam,
Black Hawk,
damn,
the Hawk.
That's racist.
Hawkeye. Hawkeye is gonna be the new Captain America.
He could be. I could see him.
What is Black America?
Throw that shield.
Not with the shield.
Yeah.
He would
that's what Captain
America is about. He would
America's
have a bow and arrow, but he would just have painted. Yeah, like the red, white, and blue.
Stars and Stripes.
Yeah, because even like Falcon now Sam Wilson is Captain America, but so he has like the Captain America suit, but he still has like Falcon wings.
Yeah. I think I kind of
But
feel
he
like
does have the shield, though.
Yeah, he does. But I kind of feel like they're aiming towards that more than Bucky, even though they kind of like, it could go either way because they've been kind of like giving him the shield a shitload and making him use it a lot. But just because I think for Falcon, when they've been showing him like doing all the blocking and all that kind of shit with his wings now, instead of before we were just flying about, and they've been putting him more in like a leadership position, especially with this movie. It might go his way too. They might start going along with that.
No, it was definitely he definitely had a much bigger role than any of the other side characters, if you want to call them that.
I mean, Bucky had the biggest role of the side characters.
Yeah, but
I mean, Bucky wasn't like a side character. He was more of a main. He was a main. But
the thing
and
is,
he was
like,
mostly just running around. He was doing not very much fighting in this movie. He was mostly just running away.
He's not. At least so far, they're not really setting him up for anything
other than what he's
really.
been
I mean,
so far.
unless in the Black Panther movie they bring him back and they've fixed whatever thing he had in his brain that they took out, then maybe. But I don't really see him being built up. If they plan on replacing Captain America soon.
Freight car, rusted,
That's
longing,
Freight cars
homecoming.
Like,
Stop it.
Benign.
Stop.
Whoa.
I think I just activated somebody.
I just got activated, bro. Oh my god, you should see it.
Someone's gonna go crazy out there and just be like probably just in stasis mode, just waiting for your commands, but you're never gonna give them any commands.
Fucking activated right now, Carlos.
But so I mean, other than that, the movie, as I've been saying, fantastic. I agree that is way better than Batman versus Superman. I have some friends who say otherwise, but we're not going to get into that.
They're not your friends.
Let's get into the actual movie. I mean, come on. We saw Spider-Man for the first time, and we saw Black Panther for the first time. Like, what was your guys' reaction to all that for seeing?
Like, woo!
Loved the new Spider-Man. Can't wait for that movie. Love the
next year.
Love the new Black Panther, the actual Black Panther. I can't wait for that movie.
2018.
But it's like that. To me, was probably the most exciting parts of the movie was me being like, I can't wait till these movies come out.
Oh wow, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Why so? Like it's like what?
No, because there wasn't any big explosions and shit at the end.
No,
I'm telling you.
Wow.
That's not. That's not
that's
what it
right.
was.
Jake, you loved like Batman versus Superman, didn't you?
I thought you liked kaiju movies, Jake.
Yeah, those are good.
Oh
well,
no,
we had our own like straight up kaiju scene.
They did.
That's
sort of,
true.
yeah.
No, that was cool too. I like that part. But I think like the characters that got me like the most. I mean, the ones that got me the most hyped up was those two.
What was cool about that scene is that he moved like really slow.
Yeah. Well, you know,
But he's moving really fast.
Gravity.
You know,
that's true.
How does gravity work?
I don't know if that makes any sense.
I don't think anyone knows how gravity works.
It just looks really cool when you move slower.
I mean, Chad knows. Chad is like the science.
It's just a theory though, so don't take it with a grain of salt.
It might not be real.
Gravity?
Gravity might be fake.
But like, what did they have?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he looks like he's moving slow and
It's like
relative.
the sun.
Have
you ever stared at the sun?
Yeah, hours, man.
Yes.
All the time.
All day, every day.
It moves super fast, but to us, it looks like it's just kind of there, man.
What? Okay, same thing.
It's massive too. You ever heard about that?
Did you guys see that scene coming, or was it like?
I did not.
Once you started talking about like I've only practiced this at home and might tear me apart, I was like, oh, he's gonna get big.
Oh, really? You
man.
saw it coming then?
Well, yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if I saw it coming, but I was hoping. I was like, oh, maybe he's gonna get big. He's gonna get turn into a big man.
He definitely like he was talking about it before, at least a full minute, like. Hey guys, I got a trick up my sleeves. It's might tear me apart, and I only did it a couple times, maybe once in a lab.
Yeah,
like all that. You're like, all right,
I thought he was gonna go subatomic again.
Well, that didn't make sense though. That wouldn't have what would that achieve?
So made him so small that he's gone for like another 5 years. All right, I'm gonna try this out, guys. I'm disappear for a while.
I need to see that movie again. That was a good movie.
I thought you saw us twice.
Ant-Man.
Third time's a charm.
Ant-Man.
Oh, Ant-Man. That's a
I
fantastic
like that
movie, by the
character.
way, as well.
I like what Paul Rudd is doing with him. Dude,
Yep.
He was great. He was so, like when they open up that van, and he's in that van.
Yeah.
He's
And he's just
definitely
sleeping.
like way different than everyone else in that universe, like
Well, he
character
was-
wise.
well, he's the only like normal person.
Yeah, he's
like
just
he
happy
didn't
to be
grow
there.
up with powers or in the military or anything like that. He was just a normal guy. Well, actually,
That's true.
does he have like a PhD in fucking engineering or some shit?
Oh, I mean, like he
he
just
says.
became like Ant-Man, like let's say six months ago. Let's just say something like that.
True.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, he was just like, well, that's Captain America.
Everybody else was military in some sense, military or secret agent or something. So they've been
everyone
had a
was,
shitload of
was
money.
trained.
true.
Yeah, everyone else was trained.
Well, yeah.
So I
Not-
mean,
not
like, what do you
Spider-Man.
guys think about Spider-Man? Like, I love how his suit. It makes a lot. I love how they introduce his suit, like that. It definitely is a product of Tony Stark's.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, I love how if you read the actual Civil War comics, you know that he gets an iron spider suit from Tony Stark's, but for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I'm glad that they didn't do that.
That suit would have been really weird.
Yeah, and,
Yeah, it would've been-
and
it
I
would've
like
been
how
bad.
he gave him the actual Spider-Man suit, you know?
It's
And
that suit.
Peter makes his own webbing also in this movie,
Yeah.
which is
Which
a
is
a departure.
very,
What do you mean?
What do you mean? It did
It's
in
a
the last movie.
departure. It's a departure from the movies.
No, he made his own webbing in the last two movies.
No, he didn't. No, in the last two movies, he took it from Osborn.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Andrew Garfield
The
one,
Andrew
he
yeah.
took it from ObsCorp.
Well, but
Which
they,
was-
but they produced it himself. He didn't just go back
Yeah,
over and
no.
keep stealing it.
I don't.
Yeah, but he didn't
I
like.
don't know. They
No,
never
but
really
he-
say it. They just kind of say that, oh, he took the webbing and then he has it, you know. So I'm assuming like he either steals or he takes a shit ton of it. So either way, it really wasn't like from the comic book where he
engineered it himself.
makes it.
Yeah.
Exactly, and no one else knows.
Well,
And in the Sam Raimi
so.
version, of course, he actually just
It was natural.
produces it out of his.
I was
Like
actually
his-
reading an article, and
something.
that actually came from James
Like
Cameron.
a semen.
Because
What?
early on in the production of the Tobey Maguire movies, James Cameron was actually involved, and he actually produced like
That's
an
right.
early script for it, and that it included the organic web shooters. And after James Cameron departed from the project, they pretty much overhauled the script, and it's a completely different script. But they did keep the organic web shooter. So that was thanks to James Cameron. Which is, I don't know how you feel about it. I mean, I think it's okay.
I mean, it
only works
wasn't
because
bad
of-
because it was the first outing of it, and I think a lot of people give Tobey Maguire a lot of like not credit for it, but I think in that first Spider-Man, that was the first like Marvel like superhero movie that set the tone.
Yeah.
I mean, there was X-Men before, which was a letdown, you know, and like you cannot discredit Blade, but Blade was he's such an offshoot character,
I like
you know,
the
he's
first
not
one.
really known.
I like the first Blade.
that Blade was good.
First Blade was good.
Then
Second,
it became
yeah,
all like fucking gothy techno.
yeah, and like a little bit too like industrial house, intelligent dolphin music, type of steez.
You guys
But-
are killing me.
Carl's like, that's my favorite part. I was listening to Blade 2 soundtrack fucking all day.
Yeah, man. Ronnie size.
So back onto Peter Parker, man. Like,
I wish they kind of showed his pre Tony Stark suit a little bit more.
Well, it was,
oh,
it
they
was
did,
just,
but it was shit.
yeah,
it was shit.
just
It was
like
garbage.
a sweater.
Yeah,
A sweater with like some swimming goggles.
I guess
They
they'll
didn't-
probably
like, it
do
was-
some. They'll probably do some of that. Maybe in the next one. I don't think so. Probably not.
Maybe-
What is the Homecoming storyline? Because there is a storyline, comic line called
Yeah.
Homecoming, right?
It's,
Do you think
like,
they're gonna
it's
stick
from
to
the
that?
80s. I think it's after
I'm not sure
he got
what
back
that
with
is.
the black suit.
Oh, was that?
After
yeah,
that,
yeah,
right around
that was
right around that time. Yeah. I'm not too familiar with it.
That
but
was
that's what I
the
heard.
black suit when he just had it was actually a suit, not the symbiote.
I mean, it definitely. I mean, would you guys like the movie to be before or after the events of Captain America: Civil War?
After for sure.
After, I'm sure they're gonna lead up to the 6 months, because he did say when he was talking to Tony that 6 months he just got his powers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think they might just leave it out. I think they were kind of trying to get it out of the way in this movie. Just like kind of like how in Batman they got through it in the Batman movies. So like, oh, here's his parents are dead, cool. You know, so then in the standalones they don't have to do it. I think they're going to do the same thing.
Although if they do, I mean, they actually can do before and after, because he was only in this movie for what would be a day, truly, a day or two. So they could kind of hint at it in the middle of it, where he like leaves one day and then comes back with a couple bruises next day and is like, oh, look, fucking fucking dude.
I guess so they can make it so it can stand alone, and people who haven't seen this movie, Civil War, they'll probably go and they'll probably have like the intro, then him like oh, and then I got the suit from Tony Stark, and now I'm here. You know, that kind of thing. You know, they just kind of like wrap it up.
Yeah,
to,
maybe they'll see on TV like, oh, this fucking airport got destroyed by a bunch of people, and he's like, oh.
I mean, one thing
because I heard that they were planning on doing it in a very smart way, because they know, the studios know, that it would be like the fourth like retelling of, or it's actually the third retelling of the Spider-Man story.
Not if you count the Italian Spider-Man.
Origin story.
Well, oh god,
yeah.
But there's one thing I found a little bit strange was that this Spider-Man was very like his suit. While I kind of like how they're like, oh, it's Tony Stark, so we're gonna make it a little bit mechanical with his little shutters, and I guess gave him a reason for it. Like it made it so he could see better because his senses were so acute, which is new to me. I've never heard that before. But it kind of looks like Superior Spider-Man to me. Did anybody else see that? The Superior Spider-Man costume design?
No, I know what you're talking about, but
like,
not really, because it had a little bit more. The Superior Spider-Man had a little bit, more black into it.
Yeah, but it's like he had the segmentation at the deltoids, and like he had the goggle type glasses, and you know.
But he was like black and red.
Yeah.
I mean,
kind of like the new Spider-Man.
Although I see it. It
yeah, like just design wise.
Although it seems like he had like the Tony Stark like little arm things coming from his back.
Well, that's because it was spoiler. It was Doc Ock. So
spoiled.
Sorry.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
it was like Doc Ock's personality took over Peter Parker, and they were like fighting to have control.
They
he's like, I'll be
minds.
a Superior Spider-Man.
What is it with Doc Ock and
that's what he sounds
tentacles?
like too.
That's exactly what Doc Ock sounds like in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Octopus. You're such a jerk. I'll be the better Spider-Man than you were.
Yeah, I did appreciate how Aunt May was like an appropriate aunt age.
Yeah, well,
she was Marissa Tomei.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Look her up,
instead of being like a
gents.
grandma. Like they always make her a grandma, and then they show the parents. The parents are like, that means his parents would be around that age, which would be like 80-something years old, and he's like 13, 14.
Yeah, the math never really worked out with Aunt May.
His parents had him at like 60.
Well, it would just mean that Peter's dad and his sister, I think, would have been like 20 or 30 years older than him. So that's kind of,
I mean, that's
possible.
You could, I mean, it's not unheard of. No. You can have like, you could be like 25 years old and have like, we're having a baby. You're having a kid sister or a kid brother. And you're like, Mom, I'm 25. Chill out.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely could happen, but I for Marissa Tomei, I looked her up. She's like 51 in age.
Good age.
And gorgeous looking lady. Gorgeous for her age. I do agree. Like, I will say that they definitely have a better portrayal of Aunt May. Something a lot more realistic. Something that we can get into.
It's a departure from the books, because
exactly
in the books, Aunt May was like
She was always
straight
old
up like a
feeble.
senior citizen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was like, she was always like sick.
She was definitely someone that like couldn't take care of herself and was like a plot device for Peter Parker to have to go back and take care of her. And
Yeah, like,
all that
oh
kind of
no, I
shit.
gotta get my medicine to Aunt May.
Oh, she's gonna be dead in like 15 minutes. When I get home.
But then like Rhino would fucking come out of nowhere.
And then his web shooters would
break
be
through
empty.
the pharmacy.
Yeah, like,
And then Venom would show up, and now his spider sense don't work. Oh man,
oh man.
They don't mention Uncle Ben at all in this one.
they
did
did.
I
They
don't-
did
I
like
don't
really.
remember.
They did it really subtly, if I recall. It was like this kind. He's like,
Which is
oh,
okay. I
something
didn't want
happened
them
in
to
my
get into
family.
that
It was
shit.
something like that. You know, it was like, oh, one of my family members. You know, blah, blah, blah. And it made me really think about what I was doing in my life. Some bullshit like that.
It was definitely pretty well done. I mean, it was obviously, I mean, you could have taken Spider-Man out of this movie and it would have been the same movie.
Yeah.
But it was done so well that I didn't even care.
But you know what? I wasn't expecting him to even be in it that much, especially considering they were like, we just kind of like threw him in last minute. I was like, oh, is this going to be like, it'll be like he shows up at that airport scene. You know, I didn't think it was going to be incorporated so much.
Yeah, no, he was a huge part of that fight scene. Like
Yeah.
he was. Yeah.
Oh, one weird thing. Everybody's getting their ass whooped by fucking Bucky.
Oh yeah.
And then Spider-Man just grabs his fucking punch and is like, oh man, you got a metal arm. That's cool. But he's getting his ass whooped by other people later on. That doesn't make any sense.
Who's getting his ass whooped?
Spider-Man. He's getting all beat up.
I don't
and
think
punched up.
Spider-Man doesn't really get his ass whooped.
Well,
if you kind of look at it.
Well, I mean,
gets a
He
couple
gets
licks
like
though.
by
he gets tossed away. Like, let's say someone like
Well,
caught
actually,
the-
he's actually kicking Captain America's ass. The only way
Yeah.
Captain America wins is by dropping that fucking that like walkway on him.
right.
Or he doesn't really kick his ass. He just kind of leaves him hanging there
Yeah, that's
while he's
true.
grabbing the. So yeah,
I
and then he
don't
takes
know.
down Ant-Man. So he's pretty much.
It
was-
just
he
kind of
was-
shows
he
you
was doing
like
the
his
most out of
actual
everybody, that's
strength.
true.
Like he's not
Yeah, spider strength.
like regular. He's superhuman strong. You know. And if you really look at his whole ordeal, like even Tony Stark was like, all I want you to do is just capture people and like keep throwing them off. You know, he didn't want him to actually fight.
Have you ever been in a fight before? There's usually not this much talking.
That was good. That was good
Yeah.
dialogue. That was good.
He was annoying.
banter.
He was like he's like a kid that is like annoying and doesn't shut up. And
Dude, he was stoked.
It's
He's
like-
meeting
I
all
think
these
that, like,
people that
it's-
he's fucking
yeah.
idolizes and shit.
But I think it's like it's funny because when I used to read a lot of Spider-Man books when I was in my teens, and he was always like, "I love this kid. He's like, you know, he was so funny to me, and his wisecracking was like such a delight."
Yeah.
And now, being an adult, I'm just like, this kid's annoying. Like, shut up, all right? Like, just do.
As
you
a
know.
child, you wanted to be him, and as an adult,
Yeah.
you loathe him.
Yeah.
Oh, this
So
stupid
they
kid.
pretty much nailed him in that regard.
That's funny.
Wow.
What about
Fantastic.
Black Panther's like Panther Jet?
No,
Oh,
that
that
wasn't
was
a
cool,
Panther
man.
jet. That was just
He
a
was ready.
regular.
He was ready.
I don't think it was a Panther. I think it was like
It's
he just had
a
like
jet from Wakanda.
It was only a Panther jet because the Black Panther was
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. That was the standard jet.
yeah. It's like it wasn't like in the shape of. I didn't mean to imply that it was
Okay.
like.
I thought you
the
were
jet
saying like
look-
it was his own
I
jet.
think the jet was similar to the one that Captain America
Yeah, just like a
took
standard,
at the end.
yeah.
a standard jet from
The
Shield,
fact that like
or whatever this is
they
now.
went off and he was kind of just like closely
He
following.
was already on the trail.
Was it a little bit like Slave One? You know, that scene where Boba Fett is kind of like following them and he's in his
Yeah.
own little jet like
Yeah.
that at the end.
Mm.
So his jet is called Slave One. I didn't mean to like.
We know what you were implying.
No,
Carlos,
no,
not
but
that.
that does bring up a really good point in terms of continuity because Tony Stark arrived at the secret hideout only minutes after Bucky and Captain America arrive. And I mean, if you think about it, they took off from the airport, right? And then everybody else was captured. They were taken to the military hideout where they put him in prison. And then Tony Stark, after a while, Tony Stark
underwater.
came in his own helicopter. After a while, he already obviously went to the doctor because he had his arm brace or whatever. And then he landed and then talked to everybody. So he had all this time to capture and prison all the other guys, go talk to them because he didn't go with them.
What are you, the time police?
Yes, and then after
cop.
that he
Continuity
left,
patrol.
and
Wait,
after he left, he went over
cop.
to the secret base, to the Russian secret base or
Yeah.
whatever, and he was like, "Hey, I'm here." Just like a few seconds later.
Yeah. Well, okay. You're right.
I just
But
realized.
he got there in his suit.
Yeah,
Wait,
but
he-
Black,
but he
Black
did- but he
Panther
didn't.
was in the jet that Captain America took, or
Yeah,
a
but
similar
Black
jet.
Panther kind of got there like a little bit
Yeah,
later.
Black Panther was a little later. Yeah, but still,
Black Panther was
I mean,
literally
how
right
long was
behind
it? Like
him.
20 minutes?
Maybe, but if you kind of look at it, they were already inside and they were talking. They
they
probably
were
went
taking their
off and
time.
got something to eat. You know,
And besides, no, you know what? Tony Stark didn't stop because he was on his way back, and then remember he like had his little button where he pressed the button and his suit got sucked onto his finger, and he had jettisoned out the back. He didn't go nowhere. He was still rubbing his naked arm. Like, my arm hurts.
No. I mean,
no. He's talking about how Captain America and Bucky left directly after.
They took off from the airport from the fight.
The airport
and then
scene.
Everybody in Captain America's side was taken to the prison, and then
To
Captain
prison
America or Tony Stark went in his helicopter, landed, spoke with them, and then that's when he shut off the sound so that he can get information to where Captain America was leaving. That's when he got into his helicopter
that's true,
and
that's true.
turned into the suit and like took off. And
Well, I mean-
when Black Panther was following him in the clouds.
Like right behind
Yeah.
him. But yeah, you gotta just gotta imagine
Luis,
that.
Luis needs a whistle.
You just got but you gotta imagine like
movie
Captain
theater.
America and
right
Bucky.
in the middle of the movie. Luis is like, whistle.
This ain't right. Look, it only took 5 minutes for Captain America to show up, and it's like, yeah, but maybe they're walking around doing other things. No, you need to show that. What's been going on? This whole, yeah. Let's just take
You're right.
let's
Okay.
put in
that's a good
consideration
We can move on.
that Captain America and Bucky got there, took their time sneaking around, and then Iron Man just ran up in that shit.
Yeah.
All right, so
Problem solved.
the next big guy,
Took a lot of time.
Black Panther,
Oh yeah.
showing up on screen.
Can't wait for that movie.
You know, Chadwick Boseman spent the whole shoot speaking with a Wakandian accent,
That's good. It's probably hard to
which I thought
keep
that
shit
was
up.
interesting. I mean, he's like,
Which is an
Going-
actual African language. It's
but that's not something
Wakandian.
actors do. Or maybe
Yeah,
it
a
is.
lot of actors do that.
Just kind of become that, like even off camera, like off.
Yeah. They try and stay in
That's-
character. There's a
I
lot.
think that's
mean,
how
look at
Heath Ledger died.
Christian Bale. He did that shit in his
Rest in
movies. He
peace.
spoke with the American accent the whole time.
Okay. Cool. I think that's
But-
fascinating. I think more, shout out to good actors.
But
We need more of you guys.
I do like as
Marvel's
well.
definitely got him.
I do like how they
their
made him
movies.
like. I do like how they made him like how he's supposed to be. Like we were saying earlier, like he's faster than everybody. Like Captain America had to get in a fucking car to catch up to him, and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that his brain wasn't up to like his normal.
Yeah, that's true. They had to like give him some sort of.
Yeah, but I mean, the way that I kind of.
Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, like the death of T'Chaka was like kind of inhibited him from kind of using his full capacity of thinking.
But at the same time, this is a younger, seemingly younger and more inexperienced T'Challa than we're used to seeing.
Sure.
So maybe emotion does get to him a little bit.
Yeah,
faster
that's the only
and-
thing for me. I was just like, man, he really thinks that Bucky did it, even though there's no kind of evidence really. There's just kind of circumstantial evidence, and it didn't seem like a T'Challa move, but it's his dad. He died.
It was a very emotional.
Very
kinda-
so I will, and like you said, he was a younger version of Black Panther. So I can see that, but that was just the one little thing that kind of
One thing that's been getting to me a lot is I've been seeing a lot of discussions on this movie, and I don't know how many times I've seen people be like, "Oh, so what's the deal with Black Panther? Like he has a super suit," and it's like,
kind of.
Not really though. Like
It's a vibranium suit.
That's all the suit does though for him. It just makes him invulnerable. He has all the powers that he has normally.
Well, it's
I like
training.
and people kind of forget that they show that in the movie where he's like running after people and jumping all crazy and shit with outside of his suit.
But
Yeah,
they,
when he
they
fights
don't
Bucky.
explain.
Yeah,
they don't
it's
explain
unexplained.
that
If they
in the
don't know,
movie.
it's not really their fault because
I blame
he's
them.
not-
They haven't read that he eats like the fruit of the panther or whatever, and he eats
it's
like
a herb.
Sorry,
It's a root.
herb smokes it. But yeah, they don't explain it. They don't have the time, or they didn't take the time to explain that he is as strong as Captain America and all that type of jazz. Like he's pretty much like an all natural
without the suit,
superhuman,
even without
his
vibranium suit.
Yes,
but I did when he fell from like really high places and the suit kind of stopped the impact of him landing.
Mm-hmm.
So he would, you wouldn't even hear him falling from.
Yeah, I thought that was so awesome. I was very
they nailed it.
Very happy with that. And like when he was getting shot up by the
bullets,
just like
the helicopter,
he
you can picture him having like that face
just annoyed
underneath the helmet. Like, come on,
yeah,
like what?
Well, nobody knows him.
You could still. I mean, he's not completely invulnerable, even with the suit. Like you could still cut along the fibers, right? So if you can slash along the grains of the suit, and you can still cut him or hurt him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not completely invulnerable, but yeah, if he existed in the MCU, then you might have problems.
I mean,
the thing it can be torn apart. It's
not like
it's not indestructible.
exactly. It's not completely indestructible.
No.
It stops bullets.
If you were
easy.
It's
good for stopping bullets.
Pretty strong.
You have to have like a very harsh like force that's on him. Like if he was impaled onto a wall, it could probably get through.
It's one of those things where it's like pinpoint, yeah, but like overall,
like an arrow.
I might do it.
Oh, but like for to me, like just his character in the whole entire movie, how he was himself. He was not like anyone else. Like his introduction to like Hawkeye, how Hawkeye was like, "Hey, who are you?" Like, "I'm Hawkeye," and he's like, boom, like gets shot. He grabs the arrows and he's just like, it blows up. He's like, "I don't care who the hell you are." Like his whole motive with that whole team captain, whatever. He was just
girl on girl.
What?
What?
Whoa.
Was that mentioned in there sometime? I really like lesbian sex. There's
that scene where his bodyguard is kind of like giving Natasha, like I think it was Natasha, kind of like fucking grilling her, and T'Challa stops and is like, "As much as I would like to see this."
Oh yeah.
No, I thought that was
as
interesting.
Entertaining as that would be.
Yeah. As entertaining as that would be, I was like, "Oh, okay, I see."
You two very strong women going at it.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
And who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, they are the guard that guards the king.
I mean, who knows? I mean, he is the king. He could probably have like events and shit about that.
His bodyguards are the Dora Milaje, and they are well-known fierce warriors, and they could give
not by coincidence
Black Widow a good run.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're good enough that he doesn't have to worry about the average person when they're around. That's kind of the whole point.
It's kind of funny that now I think about it, he shares the same tendency with like Gaddafi, because Gaddafi had all female like bodyguards.
He did, yeah.
That's just doing it right, man.
Yeah.
But hey,
some dictators just know what they're doing.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Hey, but he's not a dictator though.
He's a king.
He's a king.
Yeah, people love him.
It was such a stellar comic book movie. Like it was not like I won't even say like there was a character who I felt didn't get enough screen time or had enough importance.
Everybody got their arc.
Yeah, their 5 minutes.
Their 5 minutes. Some obviously Bucky had a big part. Black Panther had a big part, and they had like Captain America, Tony.
Iron Man.
Yeah, exactly. They all had, but even like everybody else, like Scarlet Witch had an arc.
Actually, yeah. Now thinking about it, something that also surprised me was that Scarlet Witch can control the reality gem or some shit. Is it the reality gem? Is that what it's called?
The soul gem, I think.
The soul gem?
Yeah.
She like took over it, essentially.
Well, she could do pretty much anything.
So that's pretty telling for, things to come.
Well, I mean, her powers were given from the other one.
The cosmic cube.
The cosmic cube, the Tesseract.
I think they're trying to call them gems again. They kind of brought it up
which one was that one, though? Well,
That was the one that Loki was going
Yeah,
after.
no, yeah, but
the one
Power.
that in Captain
no,
America.
that one's not Power. Power was the one in
Power
in,
is the purple one.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Power
right,
is the one
that's
from
right.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
This one,
I think the Tesseract is transportation.
yeah, it's something like that.
What?
Infinity Gems.
I think
Transportation
so.
gem.
Yeah, like get in this Tesseract. We're gonna go down to the shop.
Well,
come on with me.
I'm pretty sure
think-
that's not an Infinity Gem.
No, I think that
I
the
don't
Marvel.
know, man.
The Department of Power. the electricity gem.
No, I think the
Ether?
Infinity Stones in
Water
the
gem. It's like all the gems are public works.
in the MCU they're different, right?
Those characters
I
are
mean-
so overpowered, and the fact that
Which
they actually Vision and Scarlet
yeah.
Witch,
Yeah.
they could have just easily kind of took care of
Handled
that whole
everybody.
took care of that whole ordeal. But you gotta suspend your disbelief in places.
I want to say that like everyone's kind of young to their.
I mean, they're dealing
Their powers.
with the fact that Scarlet Witch was kind of broken because of the explosion that she caused, so she wasn't really at her full peak.
Although,
And then Vision is also dealing with his own shit.
yeah, figuring shit out.
Figuring shit out, who he is, where he fits into everything, and the fact that he was wearing like human clothes was perfect.
Yeah, I mean, even if you even showed that he miscalculated when he shot at Rhodey.
Yeah, which is something that doesn't happen.
Yeah, he was distracted.
Yeah.
as he said. But Scarlet Witch,
By
like
love.
now that you, she pretty much saved everybody's ass in the fight. Like she was not only fighting her own fight, she was like taking people out left and right, which I thought was pretty cool. That's it.
from like damage control.
No, like she was just involved in everybody's like fight. Like she
Okay.
was just saving everybody's ass as they
That's
were
what I
fighting.
mean. Like if something was gonna fall on someone, then
Or just
whatever.
kick somebody's ass, just like
Well,
Just, like, blow 'em
it was
out into
almost
the air.
like it was almost like she was like, "Hey, let's not get too serious here."
yeah, like she didn't want to hurt anybody, but kind of like keeping everybody in check.
Yeah. What would have been great, though, I know, is that they probably didn't think of that, is obviously if Thor and Hulk were in the movie, it would totally been like that explosive explosions upon explosions and like just senseless recklessness
Yeah.
if they were in the movie.
Yeah, that
That would be
would have been
interesting,
that would have
just
been
to-
a little too much though. I
Yeah,
think because who's gonna
in the
fight
real-
Thor first of all, or the Hulk for that
Well,
matter?
They could fight each other.
They
yeah.
will definitely have to fight each other.
True, but then that would like
You
the
know?
amount of destruction from that.
But that at the same time, it's kind of nice that this movie wasn't so much. They didn't really. It was only barely a Captain America movie. It was like another Avengers movie, heavy on the Captain America story. Like everyone, like you guys said earlier, everyone did get like their equal spotlight. So it kind of was like a little mini Avengers, which was good.
Well, I mean the overarching kind of like story was kind of Captain America's resolve in order to like maintain not purity, but like just the understanding that they're still like the in control ones or whatever, and to make sure that no evil people kind of take control of them. And
Well, I mean, having said that, they did do a good job of keeping it a little bit more vague than the comics, because the comics were definitely like, hey, all right, straight off the bat, Iron Man's a fucking asshole. He's the bad guy. And this one is more like, okay, you can kind of understand Iron Man's position. You can understand Captain America's position. Neither of them are necessarily 100% wrong. But like, I like that they decided to step back from the comics in that sense too, where they're like, okay, let's make it so.
The movie is completely different than the comic book.
yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
It's like, it's like, it's not even worth
It's
even
its
really
own
bringing up.
story.
Yeah, it's its own
no,
story.
but what Jake is saying is more in terms of how they portrayed each side, where
Yeah.
you don't
I
necessarily
mean,
end up
kind of
hating
Tony was
anybody.
like, he's kind of that dude that just like, he fucks shit up and then he realizes that he fucked up and then he kind of just like is
Wants
like
to
kind of
guilt everybody into it.
lords it over everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he just had this revelation that he just, like, you're like, dog, you're the one that fucked,
Yeah,
you made Ultron, and then now you're guilty over it. So then you're gonna fucking kind of come at everybody else and kind of try to guilt everybody else.
Yeah. So you see how bad I fucked up? Everybody needs to be better like me now.
Like his little speech about the kid dying, or that engineering kid that was studying in Sokovia.
Yeah.
And he was like, and the kid died, and because we were out there and we were kicking ass.
How many other people died?
Who cares?
Yeah.
That one kid.
There was an emotional
His
connection.
mom actually just like fucking
reached out to him.
Yeah.
And it,
She could have taken him out though.
cornered him in the elevator.
Yeah.
That would have been the end of Iron Man right there.
He was ready for it though.
Yeah.
He was ready.
I don't know though.
He was like occupational hazard.
Howard.
Yeah,
I like that guy.
like his dad.
He's a nice guy.
She could have pulled out a gat on him and it'd been done. But he seems like he's nice with that.
I think he has like the Iron Man hand always.
Yeah.
Dude,
Always handy.
Bucky was gonna kill the shit out of Iron Man.
Speaking of like hands and stuff like that, do you guys catch?
You want to catch these hands?
Nah, bro. I'm good. I remember a side story. I remember sometime back in college, Carlos and I were about to engage in a punch for punch. And I think I punched you in your arm first. And it was my turn to like receive the punch. And I swear to God, it was like some Dragon Ball Z type of bullshit like happening right in front of my face. Like I just saw Carlos's arm like kind of like unhinged and dropped into this lock position. And it just looked like his muscles were like enveloping and like you could see like the veins and shit. And he just like pushed back like 2 inches, but it just seemed like so far back. And he was right about to swing at me, and I was just like, "Fuck that shit! I'm not letting that hit me."
Okay, shit.
I was like, "Yo, fuck this." Nope.
I was there for that.
My arm probably would have been torn off.
And then I saw his throbbing arm, and he was pulling back and coming out. Oh, he was coming at me, and I was like, "No."
This got really weird.
So Luis has some fan fiction coming on here.
Yeah, there you go.
You should write that, Luis.
No.
Sure about that?
We'll post it on the blog.
Carlos really wants to make that.
We'll post it on our new Facebook.
Yeah, we got a new Facebook.
Oh yeah, check it out on Facebook. What's the name of it?
Facebook.com/
But before we get there, one thing I was saying. Hold on, man. We can talk about that. Let me finish my point. I don't know if you guys noticed, but like every time like Bucky and T'Challa would get into it,
Black Panther whooped his ass.
No, apart from that, but when he was actually just T'Challa, like, I don't know, like, if it's, whatever the Black Panther ring, if we call it that, it would react to his arm.
Wait, repeat that?
Like, Bucky's metal arm and Black Panther's ring, it would react. It was kind of like they couldn't, like, touch each other or whatever.
Did not catch that.
No.
In the when they're fighting in civilian clothes, when Bucky just the guy Byron Zemo like we'll keep an eye out for that Bucky. So check it out, like in that whole cafeteria fight scene, you see it.
My favorite scene from this whole movie, besides like wondering about the cleanup crew for the airport, was just like the Winter Soldier at the farmer's market, like picking out like produce.
Oh yeah, that was funny. I like that. That was cute.
That's like the Winter Soldier. Is that what the Winter Soldier does? Just like,
know what? When people aren't, knocking about and doing their superhero thing, they're just having a regular life, man. They're gonna go get some fruit at the fruit stand. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Just like squeezing melons.
A bit of a shop about.
Yeah. Making sure which one's ripe, smelling. Yeah. Picking one up and putting it, to his nose.
This one smells good.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't squeeze it with my metal arm, I might blow it up, right?
Yeah, you can't. It'll explode.
But
okay, nobody. Thanks, Jake. Only Jake is willing to go there with me.
Play along.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Jesus.
Nah, man. I enjoyed the movie just because of scenes like that and the actual dialogue. The superhero parts were very minimum to the actual greatness of the movie. Definitely, I would say it had a very awesome cliffhanger. I really did not see that it was a Winter Soldier.
Well, I think it was pretty clear that it was him. They just they just didn't say who was in the car until the end. Like you don't know who's in the car until they actually show the video to Tony.
Yeah, he watches it. We all watch it at the same time.
Didn't they talk about it in one of the older movies that he killed like Tony Stark's dad or whatever? Or they like alluded to it.
They might have alluded to it. It's possible that Cap knew about it already.
Yeah, I don't think they broadcasted it. I think they kind of just left it.
I remember I think it was the second, or it was the movie where he was introduced. They were like, oh, he killed, or Hydra killed Tony Stark, and Tony Stark's dad, whatever his name was.
Occupational Howard Stark.
Good movie, though. Very good movie. From beginning to end, I was on the edge of my seat, I find. And once again, the reason why Robert Downey Jr. gets the big bucks is because of his acting. And Meet the Man is
that's what I tweeted right after I watched Civil War. I think I sent like 10 tweets immediately that were all like, Robert Downey Jr. is gonna win like 7 Oscars for this movie.
Oh man, even that. What about the young Downey Jr. that was in there? Ooh.
Oh
that's
man,
still him.
That was so good.
He had that Snapchat filter on though.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure, dude.
He looked like his digital. I mean, that wasn't like a flashback, so it wasn't like what he really looks like.
I don't think it was really digital. I think it was just him, his face, clean shaven on a younger man's body.
Well, yeah, they got to digitally
until you see the actual picture of him that comes up afterwards, and it's like an old man.
Yeah,
he looks better now.
More distinguished, man.
Yeah, he's like, that's cool. That's a cool thing about being a guy.
What?
You get someone who ages well.
The older you get, like the more handsome you become.
Nah, I won't say that, because there's some dudes out there who I'll just say, like, if you age well, you age well.
Yeah, if you age well and you look good, then you age well and you look good.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Carl. He's like, yo, I'm Robert Downey Jr.
Really?
Hey.
That was good.
But anyway, so once again, that guy, he took the whole show within the Marvel Universe's movies. And getting back to what I was saying, then of course the Avengers was just, the first one was just the whole.
What about so that's all in the past, and that's all good. We can talk about Shane's all-time favorite movies, but let's look towards the future though. I mean, there's the movie ended on kind of a cliff, like it didn't really tidy up the whole conflict.
We're getting ready for Iron Man Civil War.
There's still Civil
War going on. Technically,
there's still a divide.
Yeah,
there's a divide. Yeah, like there's 2 separate Avengers teams now. There's Tony's Avengers and there's Captain America's Avengers, or his like
holy shit,
his secret Avengers. You could say
Iron Man.
I just
Iron
thought
Man
of something.
Civil War.
Not even that. I mean, they're probably not going to do it, but they could do it. West Coast Avengers.
Yeah, that's after they've ironed everything out.
They move out to the West Coast. So Ant-Man, I think Ant-Man already lives in
he's from the Bay,
San Francisco.
Yeah,
isn't that where like all the shitty Avengers live?
Like a Wonder Man and like Scarlet Witch was on the West Coast Avengers. Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, Ant-Man, Wonder Man, and like Vision.
Yeah, Vision does seem to fit in.
Yeah,
fits in over here with like all that, like the doc, like the.
Well, I mean,
like
you saw his
a
outfit.
stranger trying to fit in.
You saw his outfit, man. The way he's cooking.
He was making some really bad soup.
So here, have this shite soup.
Yeah, but in his defense, he's never tasted anything before.
Man, he's full of shit, dude. I think he made that up. He's had plenty of time to taste things in between that moment and when he became.
He doesn't have taste buds.
You don't know that.
Maybe
I think he does. I think he does.
He didn't say he doesn't have taste buds. He just said he hasn't eaten anything. But then again, he would have just tried it.
I mean, he has no needs. So I mean, but imagine if you're trying something for the first time.
Yeah, he has no point of reference or no like.
I guess. I think you have a general idea of what tastes bad and good, though.
Yeah,
I think it comes natural.
You never know. He might just like anything because he doesn't.
He's a robot.
He just might just have a respect for it. Be like, oh, this tastes like this. This tastes like that.
What are we most looking forward to as far as the these next. I mean, this is a TV show now that we just get an episode. We get like 3 episodes a year.
What a fucking.
So it's like Sherlock, basically.
Wow, that's terrible.
And the next episode is coming up in
November.
November? Is it
No, February.
Doctor? Okay.
Wouldn't it be?
No.
Or
Doctor
is that
Strange.
217?
Yeah.
Doctor Strange is November.
Yeah, he was absent from
wow.
this.
Good.
They didn't I thought they might have just squeezed him in somewhere.
Well,
Nah,
there's
they need like an introduction film for him if
Yeah.
he's
Yeah,
gonna be fit.
he's like the Olsen girl. They just think he's another Olsen girl.
What?
Blair Witch,
Okay.
Scarlet
Yeah.
Witch.
Well, she kind of had like a introduction within somebody else's film. She didn't have her own film or anything.
But that's what I mean. Like she has like similar powers. Generally,
I see.
very generally,
okay.
very generally.
Magic.
They're mystical. They're mystics. She can make things float.
So we got that coming up. We also have Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming. We got Guardians 2 coming up.
That I'm excited about.
And,
Stoked for both of those.
and then after that, we got
Thor.
Black Panther.
Thor 3.
Thor 3. Then Black Panther. And then
Ant-Man and Wasp, I think.
I don't care about the Thor movie.
But the Thor movie is going to show us where they were, where Thor and Hulk were during this whole entire
Ooh, that would be cool.
thingamajig. Yeah.
What was that? What was that episode where Thor had his own fucking planet or whatever? Not Thor. I'm sorry.
Planet Hulk.
Planet
Hulk.
Yeah.
I want to see that movie. That's the movie.
Yeah, that is the movie.
That's gonna be fucking cool.
So the Thor 3, I mean, if you look at like Captain America 3 and kind of the evolution of that series, then I mean, I don't see why Thor 3 wouldn't be just as epic. It's going to be taking place. I think like 90% of it is going to be off Earth. So there's not really any Earth scenes, which is something that I always kind of wanted from a Thor movie. Like, kind of the best parts of all the Thor movies are when they're in Asgard and kind of doing that whole like
Fancy
kind of Shakespearean type of shit.
Yeah.
And then when
So
they get to
good.
Earth, it's kind of, Kat Dennings and kind of silliness, but
And Swedish people.
yeah. What's a doctor?
What's his face? His dad.
Doctor, what's his name? Whatever.
Sweden.
Dr. Sweden.
What was the guy's name from True Blood?
Alexander Sarsgaard.
That's a fucking cool name, man.
He's Tarzan, right?
That is a cool name.
Yeah, he is Tarzan.
I kind of want like Smart Hulk to come soon.
Yeah, Banner. You're so just Bruce Banner, basically.
Yeah, it's fucking. But he still has like full control of Hulk in his Hulk form. I want that.
Yeah.
It's getting a little old to seeing him go crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
So
I mean,
Yeah.
it's you can use it as a plot device for so long.
There's been 2 solo Hulk movies, and then plus all the Avengers.
I think it'd be good for Mark Ruffalo to get like his character portrayed through the Hulk as well. Like,
does he have a movie
Ruffalo.
planned? I don't think so.
I don't know.
Well, he's gonna be big in Thor.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
they got
it'd be perfect
the
to kind of like
the
give you
casting
that
for
one.
Thor is like shaping up to be pretty dope too. They got some really good people for that, and some really good people for the Black Panther movie, right? I don't know if you guys heard those.
Oh yeah.
Those announcements, right? Michael B. Jordan.
What's he gonna be doing?
he's making the jump from Human Torch to an actual Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Same thing that Chris Evans did.
But
was the Human Torch
what?
and then went to Marvel Studios. So he's gonna be. Who knows?
We don't know who he's gonna be.
But yeah, so that's gonna be.
And what's her name?
Lupita.
Lupita.
Yeah.
Lupita, yeah. So no, I mean, I thought when I first heard Lupita in Black Panther, I thought immediately I was like, oh, Shuri, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Who's,
I don't know.
that's
it's his
T'Challa's
sister.
sister. She's also a Black Panther.
That'd be fucking sick.
That would be pretty epic, but I don't know. We don't know yet. I think they're still.
I'm
writing
stoked
that
for that.
script.
I'm stoked for a Black Panther movie. I can't wait.
Cannot wait. Is he? So are we going to see Bucky in that?
Oh God, I hope not. Just keep that
Maybe.
shit out of there.
Yeah, I mean he is in Wakanda. I mean in a stasis.
I mean, there's only 4
Yeah,
people in the IMDb page for Black Panther.
Those are only
The
those are only
cast.
confirms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, Andy Serkis is rumored.
Oh, because he's Claw.
He's
Yeah.
South African in that.
So he's only. It's well. I mean, why wouldn't he be? Is he a big part of Black Panther's story? I mean,
Yes.
he was already in Avengers.
Yeah.
He's a huge
in
part.
that. So get all that vibranium.
They already took his arm off, so he should.
Hey, he's gonna call it Bucky, man. Ask if he can borrow that shit.
Yeah, he needs an arm now.
Yeah, and then Captain America. We see him at the end of this movie, and he is not Captain America anymore.
No, he gave up his shield.
Give me back
Steve
my dad's
Rogers.
shield. That's my dad's.
So who would you think from the good side? Because Sam can't be it.
The bad side and the good.
You know what I'm gonna think?
No, you know what I mean.
I think that he's just gonna pick up the traditional shield shaped shield for a little bit.
Oh, like the
But that
Shield.
won't. Well, that one
Shield
wasn't his
shaped one,
either.
yeah.
That was
shield shaped shield.
property of the government.
Yeah,
I
but
think he's just gonna be Steve Rogers for whenever.
Steve Rogers from Brooklyn.
Yeah, like in whatever movies that he's in the next thing, I think he probably would reprise the role of Captain America when Thanos shows up.
I like these predictions.
That's what I'm thinking.
I like these predictions.
Because I'm pretty sure we all kind of know how the first movie is going to end. The first
Yeah.
Infinity Wars movie.
Well, there's that one
How?
epic spread in the Infinity Gauntlet where it's just like Wolverine is dead, Silver Surfer is dead, like all the heroes are dead on the page, and you just are like, oh my god, what's gonna happen now? So that could be the end of the first movie, possibly. Who knows?
that'd be fantastic.
It's probably going to be between Guardians and Thor, where they're going to bring Thanos back in.
Yeah.
Well, you got to remember too. They have 2 more Infinity stones, whatever you want to call them, Infinity Gems, to find before Thanos is really gonna be like, oh, I gotta
For
get
sure,
that shit.
in the first one, Vision dies.
Yeah, Vision has to.
He
Probably has to.
He
Yeah.
has to like
So then get that
get
down,
destroyed.
then get that gem.
How do you kill Vision?
Take the gem out.
Yeah, grab that gem out.
Yeah,
Right?
so
He
gem.
could just become intangible.
Just eject it.
Yeah, and then except for the gem,
But
I don't know if that's
I
true.
think he makes everything intangible.
Yeah, but he can be distracted. They did show that. So who knows?
I was mistaken. We only have one more gem to find, and I bet you is coming in Mr. Strange's.
Think so?
movie.
Which
Strange.
one is it?
Doctor Strange.
Man, give them. The man went to 8 years of medical school. Man,
You don't
give
know
him
that.
the,
Man, he
the
just wanna-
respect
he
that
just
he
went to-
deserves.
You could have just got a doctorate over the interland for podiatry or something.
Yeah, that's
He's still a doctor.
in Doctor Strange. We find out that he got it from like the Phoenix, like the Phoenix University or whatever. Like,
He has a doctorate in like
Online
frosting tips. That's how I got those sweet like white things on the side of his head. He's frosting those tips, boy.
yeah.
All right, guys.
So one more gem to go, and then Thanos.
The
is gonna
green
come.
one. What's the green one?
Slime.
Soul.
The slime.
Hector Cool.
It's slime season.
So the green one's the soul gem.
I know it. Young Thug
Well,
reference right there.
It's not accurate. It changes. It changes. Like
The
different.
colors don't matter.
They change
man.
color. They do.
Has any rapper like talked about the Infinity Gems yet?
I'm sure.
Like I got like Fruity Pebble gems. Like,
I want to say either Doom or
That sounds like something Doom would
Tony
talk
Stark's.
about. Yeah.
Tony.
I feel like
And
Wait,
not-
what?
Sorry. I mentioned Tony Stark's before,
He's a rapper.
Ghostface
and you
Killer.
were confused. Ghostface Killer. He calls himself, aka like one of his aliases is Tony Stark's. Ghostface killed Iron Man.
Stupid.
That's why not stupid.
Well, he's been
was.
calling himself that since like the early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he's read a
Like, he
comic book.
was-
It's like, oh, I'm like, call me Superman.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
like Spider-Man.
You want to know
Yeah,
the
but
cool thing
Doom
is
did the
so
same
he
shit.
was in the actual I think he was in part 2, but they deleted the scene that he was
Oh, yeah.
when he met
That was at the
Tony
party,
Stark.
right? He was supposed to be
Yeah.
at the party.
Did he have like just like a bathrobe on and like truck jewelry?
bathrobe and like jewelry like
Yes.
to the max.
Yeah.
So
Where's that?
he was,
Where's that? I'd watch that director's cut.
The Blu-ray?
somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably.
out there.
Yeah. It's about bonus
All right,
features.
guys.
Or YouTube.
Let's
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. So just want to say real quick, super thank you for Some Jerk and Signal Flow for allowing us to use your music for our intro and outro. And check us out on Facebook. We have Facebook.com/Art School Rejects. You can like us and hit us up on that. We still have a Tumblr, but we moved everything to Facebook, so it's a little bit easier for everyone to catch up on to us. And of course, SoundCloud/Art School Rejects. You can check out previous pods of us talking about previous cool things. So, thank you all you guys for being on the show. Hopefully you ladies and gentlemen had a good time listening to us. And I guess this is it.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Oh, bye.
Whoa, Carlos, you're not going to do your get home safe?
You just did it.
Oh, all right.
You stole something. The one thing I look forward to in the podcast.
Do not reply. Broccoli.
Broccoli man.